Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the sound system demo of the 2021 Audi RS6 Avant and its 16-speaker bass Bang & Olufsen 3D audio system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at the infotainment system, take a look at speaker locations, audio inputs, audio controls and adjustments, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, then get out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling. I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at this awesome machine. The long-awaited Audi RS6 Avant, wagon form, 591 horse, twin-turbo, 4-liter V8. This car is an absolute monster, and a wonderful daily driver on top of that. And that's what makes it so impressive. So if you want to see more on the RS6, we've got a little driving review with Chris Brower, and we'll put the link to that in the description. So we always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed WAV audio files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. Very advanced infotainment system here in the newer Audi models. You have the climate control essentially down here with a few other minor controls, and then up here is all radio. It looks really good. Very crisp, decently responsive, and then obviously you can see up front we also have our digital cockpit gauge cluster. So, audio screen. What's also neat about this screen is it provides a haptic sensation. So if I want to pause this music, I can put my finger on there and it sort of lights up, then I push down and it just does a very subtle click. Let's see if you can hear some of these clicks real fast. They've made the clicks feel and sound as though they were real buttons, so pretty impressive job. There's a slight delay in some of it, but overall pretty usable system. Go up here for sound settings. You have your standard treble, bass, and subwoofer. No mid-range adjustment, surprisingly. And then front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance. You have a focus setting, so you can do all front or rear. And then surround level for this 3D system, so you can either do none or max. Let's go through those now. There are no default settings for the system, so I'm going to start the test with min, no surround on, and same with 3D effect, as we'll see in a second, but we'll play around with them as we get going. For 3D effect, you have off, low, medium, and high, and that essentially just makes a surround sound setting, so let's go through those now. I find it a bit confusing that they provided a surround level adjustment and a 3D effect adjustment, but no mid-range or full level equalizer, full band equalizer. But I guess, I mean, it's something, and I'm sure some people appreciate it. And on top of that, you have speed-dependent volume control as well. For audio controls in the RS6, you have a very nice volume knob right here. It's a little far from the driver, but I find that okay because you've got a nice volume scroller right here, unlike the E450 Mercedes that we recently tested that got rid of the roller. Audi still has a nice physical roller adjustment. You go up, down, and then moving into track adjustments, you've got your track adjustments right here next to the roller, or you can actually take the volume knob down here and push it back and forth. And I think that's so smart. I think any car that has like a rotary knob or anything like that should have volume and track adjustments that same way. You do rotate for volume and then move it back and forth for track. That's really smart. I like that. For audio inputs in the RS6, you have your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth, 2 USB-C ports, and that is it. Well, on top of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So what does that mean you're missing? Well, no disc player, no 3.5mm auxiliary input jack, and no USB Type A. So, not a huge deal, but just remember, if you do want hi-fi audio, you're going to have to plug in and use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and you're going to have to carry an adapter for those Type-C ports. But more and more devices are becoming Type-C, so shouldn't be the end of the world. Speaker locations. Now, it is a bit tough to find specific speaker information for the RS6, but from the best I can tell, this non-advanced Bang & Olufsen 3D system is a 16-speaker system with about 750 watts. I've seen 730 and 755, so I think 750 is a pretty safe number. Now, I also can't find any sort of documentation where exactly all 16 speakers are. I've been able to identify 14 separate speaker grill locations, so I bet you either these door woofers down here or the front speakers have a kind of a double speaker, 2-in-1 sort of deal going on, but I bet you it's the doors. But anyway, let's go around and see what we can see. So at the bottom left, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 back on those D-pillars, and then 14 subwoofer below the cargo floor. So I bet you we've got 15, 16 in there. I tried shining my flashlight in to see if I could see a double cone speaker or anything. I couldn't, but they gotta be hiding in there somewhere. It's also possible that maybe they're built into the dash or something like that. In the E450, we had woofers that were built into the front there. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay demonstrations. Let's start out with Android Auto. Plug into the USB port. Go home and we see Android Auto right there. Click on it. And you've got a nice interface once it loads up. Very wide screen. Looks good. It's not the actual widescreen Android Auto setup, but it looks good the way it is. You've got your title music right there. Go home. And you got, what else? We'll do settings. Look how nice and responsive it is. Good refresh rate and good resolution. Apple CarPlay. I am going to have to stop the music, unfortunately, because I only have one Type A to Type C adapter. That's where my USB drive is plugged in. There we go. Again, very nice resolution. Looks really high def. Our maps are not connected right now, but you see our audio and settings screen. Really good. This is one of the best looking Apple CarPlay screens I've seen in a while. All right, let's get the tunes going again and get on the road. Before I start up the tracks, let you hear what this sounds like when it starts up. Oh yeah. rewind that song a little bit now with the surround, the 3D up some, and the surround up to the middle as well, just to see if there's any difference. We'll go back and forth a bit. I'm hearing a lot of good things from this system in its consistency. I'm not being blown away by it or wowed, but the fact that this is the quote-unquote base system for this car, and it still sounds quite good, that's telling me good things. I'm getting good highs, good lows, a decent amount of power to the system. It's satisfying, and it's easy to listen to a lot of different kinds of music, and overall, that's the most important thing for a sound system, is to sound good, loud volumes with all different sorts of music. This next one, turn the bass all the way up, see how that sounds. I'll also turn the bass to medium and see how that sounds as well. Like a lot of bass would want more coming out of the rear, more out of their subwoofer, but for easy listening, for most styles of music, it's a really good amount of bass and a good style and quality of bass too. It's not getting a whole ton of mirror shakeage on loud volume, but again, for the bass system, pretty darn good. Side note, you all see how much sun reflection is coming from that brushed metal? It's distracting, especially if the sun's coming this way and shining in on all this. It's not a very good look. It's not a good design, I should say. It looks nice, but it's not good in practice. wrap my thoughts up on the 16-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, let's pause the music, let you hear what the RS6 sounds like at 70. Very refined, very quiet in here, very good daily driving. So, my thoughts on the sound system. Really, pretty darn satisfied and impressed with the Bang & Olufsen quality. I would really like to be trying that top level, it's like something like 13,000 or 1,300 watt, 19 speaker, upper level Bang & Olufsen Advanced. It's got the tweeters that raise out of the front. I'd really like to try that because I think I'd be really impressed, but I'm satisfied with this as well. So this would be getting an A out of the sound system tiers. It's really, really good. When you do consider the fact this specific car costs 120 grand and you're only getting this system, I would drop that down to a B. But, I mean, that's not the point of this car. You can pay a little bit more and get the higher quality sound system. I'm sure that would bump it back up to an A. Overall, I honestly don't mind their infotainment system as well. It's got its quirks and it's got some things that can be frustrating, but overall I think its usability is much better than Mercedes' newer systems. Maybe not quite as good as BMW's iDrive, but it looks a lot better than iDrive, and that goes a long way for a lot of people. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the RS6, check the link in the description for our review, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.